Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk Start Collecting Kings of War Ambush, a brand new way to play Kings of War that is more focused on smaller sized games. Now this is still a rank and flank game, and I think this is a fantastic system to get into if you're wanting to get into Kings of War, the main game. Now, Ambush is a style of play. It uses the same core rules, which is really cool. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the Nightstalkers army box and see how we can use that particular box to start our Kings of War army. We're going to go through, talk about all the models inside the box set, what they do on the tabletop, before looking at some other units we can use to later add on and expand upon our initial purchase and create some different army lists. At the end of the video, we'll show you a little sample 750 point army list using the box set and some extras potentially to use as a little bit of inspiration when creating your own Kings of War army for the Nightstalkers. And so, to begin with, before we talk about the Nightstalkers properly, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of rules that are pretty much universal across all of the Nightstalkers. The first of these is the stealthy rule. Enemy units making ranged attacks against a unit with the stealthy rule suffer an additional -1 to hit modifier. On top of this, we have the mind thirst rule on most, if not all, of the units in our army. If this unit is within 12 inch of an enemy unit with the inspiring or very inspiring rule and it is routed, the opponent must reroll that nerve test. The second result, however, will stand. So, for contents of the box set, we have 20 Spectres across Scarecrows. These are the same kit, and you can build them. These are the units you can see at the back. The back three units. Scarecrows are the ones, obviously, you can see with the giant pumpkin heads or Scarecrow hats at the back, and then the Spectres are in front of them. Now, Scarecrows are our basic infantry. They have the Mind Thirst and Stealthy rule, along with Wild Charge D3. They have the option for a Scream Shard, which is another option that a lot of units can take inside our army, and it's actually an army special upgrade. The Scream Shard is a once per game use, where before the unit rolls to damage in melee, you can choose the unit to give it the Life Leech +2 special rule for the remainder of the turn. Unit Scream Shard is then destroyed and cannot be used for the rest of the game. Now, they have Speed 4, Melee 5+, Defense 3+, which is okay. I mean, it's not great, but they are 75 points for a regiment, so they are dirt cheap. Now, Spectres, on the other hand, are one of the range unit options we have. Now, they are infantry, they're speed 6, melee 6+, defense 3+, and a range 5+. They have Mind Thirst, Pathfinder on top, and stealthy as well. They've got Shadow Bolts, which are an 18-inch piercing 1 attack at range. Now, moving on to those other units, first of all, we have 3 Butchers. These are a large infantry unit, and the regiment of them has 9 attacks for the unit. Now, this speed 6, melee 4+, and defense 5+ are all pretty nice, with crushing strength 2, fury, mind thirst, and stealthy on them, as you would expect. Now, we've then got a unit of 5 Shadow Hounds. These are the unit you see at the front. They're a cavalry option. Speed 10 is really nice. This gives us a nice fast moving unit. They've also got Nimble in there as well, and Regeneration 5+. They can be a really great harassing unit for the army, able to not only regenerate themselves but be, moving around the table nice and quickly with that Nimble rule. They're really cool. And they have Thunderous Charge as well, which is pretty cool, with 10 attacks and a melee of 4+. They're not too shabby. Now, moving on, we actually get 2 heroes inside this box set. The first one is a Horror. Now, the Horror is a wizard, a spellcaster we can take for the Force. They have the Mind Thirst and Stealthy and individual special rules, as you would expect, and they've got the base spell of Lightning Bolt 3. They can also take an upgrade for an Aura of Vicious Melee for infantry only for 30 points. And they have Bane Chant, Mind Fog, and Weakness as various spells they can take. But they can always choose to swap Bane Chant 2 for free if they get rid of their Lightning Bolt. So you can have either one for free, but then you would have to pay points if you want Bane Bolt on top. But you can't get Bane Chant for free and then pay for Lightning Bolt. That's not how it works. The other one we get for the other hero is a Shade. This is a more combat-focused hero. Can take a Scream Shard, has Crushing Strength 1, Dread, Fly, Individual, Mind Thirst, and Stealthy. Now, looking at where we can go next, I think the first interesting unit to talk about are the Phantoms. Now, what's really fun about the Phantom unit is they are a heavy infantry unit. Their troop size is going to have 12 attacks with a melee 4+, defense 4+, but they have Fly. This is where I really like them. Fly and Nimble on top of Mind Thirst and Stealthy gives you a really nice maneuverable unit. Speed 10 for a heavy infantry is also really good. They can take the Scream Shard as well and can be a really nice, fast-moving, heavy-hitting unit on your flanks. Now, the Mind Screech is a monster unit I particularly like, and it's a spellcaster, though 0 to begin with. Now, it has the spells Lightning Bolt 6, Mind Fog 6, and Wind Blast 6, which is really cool. And it has the Nimble and Pathfinder special rules on it as well. It's a really amazing looking miniature that's absolutely creepy and out of this world, but has some really cool, I think, utility, not only for, being a monster with 5 attacks, melee 4+, defense 4+, but also all those magical powers as well. Now, Doppelgangers are an interesting infantry unit. Now, Doppelgangers don't actually have a model, and they are literally what you think. I would almost, potentially, if you're playing with your friends, have a unit from each of your friends' armies to have them count as Doppelgangers. Now, Doppelgangers can only be taken in regiments. They have 10 attacks, although there's a little bit to go around with that. Now they have the Doppelganger special rule. When this unit attacks an enemy unit in melee, it may opt to use the enemy profile for its melee attacks instead of its own. If it does so, it uses the enemy melee stat, attack stat, and crushing strength value for that turn instead of its own. Any magical artifacts the enemy have are ignored. Doppelgangers themselves may still use a magical artifact they have on themselves, though. Apply any bonuses granted by magical artifacts, spells, terrain, and other sources after the decision of which stats to use. So you can actually almost become better than your opponent. Say if you took the banner to get the elite keyword, you could be your opponent's doppelganger and be elite at the same time. I think this is just a super fun unit to have on the table. Whether or not it's, it's going to get different mileage depending on what you're fighting with. But it can be great, especially if you're not particularly playing an army that's got a lot of heavy elite units. It can be a great way to counter your opponent's own elite units by charging them and literally making your opponent fight themselves. Now, speaking of more elite units, they are the Soul Flayers. These are a large cavalry unit. Spellcaster 0, but they have the Wind Blast 5 spell. They've got Crushing Strength 1, Fly, Mind Thirst, Stealthy, and Thunderous Charge 1. Now, the regiment of them has 12 attacks with a melee of 3+, and defense 4+, speed 8. This is a pretty heavy-hitting unit that's also got a nice bit of speed to them. Fly in there as well. I think this is a well-rounded, solid, heavy cavalry unit option you can take for your Nightstalkers. Alrighty, and so here we have our sample army list at the end of the video. What's really cool about this sample army list is it's actually using just the initial box set. So there's no need to grab any other units to play a 750 point game straight from the get-go, which is really cool. Though if you certainly want to play with your army and move around and try some other units, there's certainly room to do so. Now, we've gone for a regiment of Scarecrows. I think this is probably the best loadout. It shows on the box is probably the best way to build your units to begin with. So unit of Scarecrows, and we've given them the Scream Shard. We've obviously then got the regiment of Butchers in the army, and then for troops we've got 2 units of Spectres and the Shadow Hounds in there, all pretty stock standard there of what, is built in the box set. Now, heroes-wise, we've got the Shade, just as is, but the Horror is where we've gone for a couple of the upgrades. So the first of all, we've got that Aura Vicious Melee, infantry only. I think this is just a great upgrade to take on your Horror. Stick him near the Scarecrows and Butchers, and watch them go ham. We then got the Magical Artifact on them with 10 points spare. I think this is probably the best use of those 10 points. Putting the Conjurer's Staff is just going to allow it to reroll and dice when it's attempting those spellcasting actions. Just allowing it to, make more use of its spellcasting. This is a perfect 750 points on the nose, 5 for troops and regiments, unlocking up to 5 units, but we're only using 2 with the Shade and Horror. If you've been playing Kings of War Ambush, even main game Kings of War, let us know how your Nightstalkers have been going, and let us know some of your favourite combinations of units down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here, we have a Discord server for Sinful Gaming, which you'll find linked down in the video's description. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by supporting us on Patreon or YouTube members, both of which are linked down in the video's description, or grab some merch from our Teespring or Ko-fi stores for yourself as well. All these are the best ways to help support the channel. As a special thank you to everyone who does help support the channel in such a way, we'd like to give a shout out to all our Patreons and YouTube members. So, thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Kevin Bowman, Iron Grinch. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny84, David Osworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenant Art, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, David Crozier, and Dylan Areno. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and a special thanks to all the mods that help with our Discord server and all the people that come on the regular to help with everything on the YouTube channel. Thank you all once again for watching. Stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.